Hey guys, today I have a gameplay video for you. We're on El Haluf using the ST2, which is a tier 10 double barrel Russian heavy tank, obviously, and this thing is pretty damn good. You have 8 degrees of gun depression, but you don't have the usual Russian armor. The tier 8s and the 9s definitely got some upper plate weakness and turret weaknesses, but the tier 10 feels very nice. 2500 HP as well is quite a nice chunk of HP to play with. And we're going to go top left because that's the brawling area, and in a double barrel heavy tank, that's probably the best place to go. But today's video is kind of funny, is how I'll put it. It's not exactly what I was expecting to have happen to me. And I haven't had something like this happen in quite a long time, honestly, too. And obviously, if you continue to watch, you'll see what I'm referring to. But we're going to go top left, and there's a Death Star right behind me, and we have 2 mediums here. And now with the Spatuk contract out this time around, and with the meta being sort of big screw around and find out kind of guns, and those mainly being on tank destroyers, and obviously a contract requiring you to play tank destroyers, you're going to get a lot of tank destroyers in your battles. Yay! As you can see, each team has 10 tank destroyers. So, the fight over here is going to be quite barren in comparison to if you had a regular match, because this is not a regular match. This is atypical matchmaking, and it's been like this for quite a long time. Already, our T-54 is dead, and you can see our other mediums pushed up B3 very far forward. But I'm going to play this corner, and for some reason, you're going to see the most odd tank here that should definitely not be here. Now, I know the MBT's not looking at me, but I don't know what else he has. And there it is, a light tank. I'm going to use my fantastic triple shot DPM of the beginning 3 rounds in this thing to put out 1300 damage quite quickly. And then I'm going to reload both shells so that I can get back to that triple shot DPM, because this thing reloads while it's on its intro clip. So your first 3 rounds have increased DPM because you shoot the first one, and while you're intro clipping to the second one, your third one reloads again or starts reloading, and by the time you get to the 4th round, then you're on to your single shot. But this E3's around the corner, and I'm not chancing it, but he gets shot in the rear, so he has to make this push. He knows that he's got to push me or he's dead to the other guy. Luckily for me, he gets stuck on the corner and doesn't get fully around. And now I can use his body as cover. Death Star reloads after shooting the E3 and finishes off the Sturm Tiger P, but he just gets hit for 1181. And I want to worry about this MBTB because he's quite literally my opponent right now. And I'm just going to try and bait a shot out so that I can push when he either misses or bounces or even hits me. If he hits me, it's unfortunate, but I'm trying to wait till he fires so that I can push forward and get with the Death Star and actually try and assist him. Now, our Iron Rain died. I don't know where he was. And Afash is dead, so our little firing line of tank destroyers doesn't seem to be doing too well up there. And this Death Star's constantly calling for my help. Luckily, the round that I've been waiting for doesn't pen me, just tracks me. And the MBTB has basically the reload of a 440 alpha gun, so I'm trying to play that to my advantage, but he still gets one off, but luckily into my tracks. And now that one, we're not going to talk about that one. I don't know where that one went, really, but just trying not to get hit again. There we go, dead tank. That Bulldog that shouldn't have been there, making great cover for me. Now, I see we still have someone in the B3-4 area. It's not the medium, it is a tank destroyer this time. So I'm thinking like, okay, we won this corner, right? Right? We won the corner. I spot a medium, MBTB. I want to get rid of him, but I don't want to take any unnecessary shots because I don't know what's behind him. We know that M46 was moving in, but we don't know what else is behind him. But since he's going to try and side scrape, and he's not great at side scraping, he kind of blocks the line of sight of anybody he had behind him. So I took that as an advantage to go forward and shoot him. And there's that triple shot DPM. And he did have someone behind him. A Foch. Tier 9 Foch. Now the MBTB is one shot, but I don't want to get clipped out by the Foch or anything else that might be back there, and there is something else back there. So I take that as my nod to, well, not do this. Now, the Death Star's dead. Our Death Star friend died, and behind us we have a Panzerjäger. And I realize, oh, it is 7-9. Our tank destroyer line has kind of fallen, and now I'm alone because the Panzerjäger is leaving me. We're giving it up. And I think to myself, well, I was hoping that Panzerjäger would stay because it means I could play where I am right now, but I have to leave now to go to, I was hoping C1 to that corner right in front of me, but I get spotted, so I make a hard right turn to stay out of his line of sight and in the fight, and I'm hoping, you can see someone's like kind of skirting the city, hoping someone starts to drive down the one line to help me out, but for now it's me all by myself against an unupgraded M46, luckily, and I do get 2 shots into him, and now I want to make use of that triple shot DPM, but I realize there's still an MBTB alive and a Foch. And so I started looking at this corner, hoping not to get flanked. And again, you do see that person skirting the city is starting to head my way. Now here I decide I'm just going to look at him, and we're going to just trade. I hope it will work out in my favor, and it sort of is. Unluckily, the French side armor doesn't get screwed over there, so good for him. But that still wouldn't have killed him. I'm trying to take out this MBTB, but oh, I missed the drive wheel and just bounces up the plate. And the M46 decided to show up. We've done 5,000 damage, so this is already a decent enough game for me to be okay with dying here, but I'm not giving up. I still think it's just these 3 guys, and I should be able to take them out, especially with that medium you see crawling up the one line to hopefully get up here to C1 and lane the Foch for me, but nope, the Foch is already rushing me, and since he's a non-turreted tank destroyer, I was hoping to back up behind the mountain, but he turned sooner than I thought, and now I'm kind of screwed, but he luckily bounces that 3rd round, or that 2nd round, and then shoots the sky because of whatever happened with the reticle for him. I ammo rack the M46, and then it's just the MBTB, or so I think, who is one shot, but so am I. He has 420 alpha, so he has to low roll me not to kill me. I have 440 though, so I would have to low roll pretty badly not to kill him. I get my double shot loaded, and here comes an Iron Rain who, like I said, 440 alpha, 88, oh, 880 double shot alpha, and I low roll and leave him on 1 HP. 1 HP. I could not believe that actually happened to me. I can't remember the last time I've left someone on 1 HP and then immediately died to them right after. But I was really hoping my first double shot of the game was going to really help me out there, and it didn't. I mean, it did because it put me above 7,000 damage, which I wish could have been a lot higher, and it could have if I didn't low roll him, got another reload off, and hit the MBTB, and then I could have continued to play the match. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. And now our Huntsman is going to take out the Iron Rain, and then the game is not over, clearly. And we are going to continue to watch because some interesting things happen here. The MBTB is still alive. He's no longer one shot to something like the Huntsman. But, oh no, he is. I hadn't even realized. He did take some damage, so he is one shot to both the Huntsman and the Sturv, but the Sturv, for some reason, decides to drive out in the open, knowing where he was, and then the MBT makes the biggest mistake and lifts the Sturv up onto him, allowing the Sturv to drive onto him. And when you're being, quote-unquote, mounted, you cannot shoot. So even though the MBT probably reloaded and could have shot the Sturv above him, you can't. So the Sturv gets a free kill. He made a misplay driving out in the open. The MBT was literally last seen to his left, not 3 seconds ago, from the Huntsman. But he gets away with it because the MBT just lifted him up and put him on him like a hat. And now it is 5 versus 2, and where do you think the last guy is? Well, they have a Tyrant and a Sturm Tiger. And we have Panzerjäger, a Sturv, a Huntsman, a Waffle, and I can't really... and our own Tyrant, there you go. And since they're all little congregating over here, I hadn't been paying attention to the map, and didn't know that someone's down there. If you know El Haluf, you know this little cheeky spot in like H8 area, F8, whatever, not F, J, sorry. And that is where the enemy Tyrant is. Now, if our team just waits out the time, we win. We don't have to get any more damage, as much as I would have loved to have. Again, 7,200 damage. I didn't low roll and I killed the MBTB. Who knows how much more damage I could have done. I'm guessing it would probably be 8,000. But what's going to happen here? Is our team going to wait out the time? Or are we going to have some people dive down trying to take out the Tyrant? And they're lining up, and you see they know where he is. And this Waffle, the Tyrant's not in the whole hole. Like, he could easily be shot from the north side. Also, this Waffle is looking like he's gonna get him, buddy. He lands a little hard and doesn't get his intro clip out, and then the Huntsman decides to follow suit without doing anything. And now the Tyrant is in the hole, not being able to be shot from the north, and that is 2 people down trying to cliff dive the Tyrant. Now, if someone else dies to the Sturm Tiger and it's 2-2, that means we do have to do something to win, but at this moment in time, we can still wait out the time for the guaranteed victory without any unnecessary cliff diving efforts to try and take out this little cheeky Tyrant, who, frankly, is abusing a position that I don't think should exist anymore. We put invisible walls in quite weird places, but I feel like that place doesn't even need to be an invisible wall. You just get rid of the cliff so that if you do go down there, you die. And, well, there's the Sturm Tiger, who was roughly still in his spawn, but was one shot to a Panzerjäger. And now we're going to speed it up here because now that it's 3-1, no one else is going to take the cliff dive. Sorry to spoil it for you, but this Panzerjäger is going to try his best to get an angle, and so is the Tyrant, but it's not going to happen. The Tyrant is behind the rock that shouldn't exist, a little peninsula, and in a little cubby hole that can hold him above the water so he doesn't die. But that was an interesting match for sure, wasn't it? We had a weird fight. We had 10 tank destroyers per team, so a big firing line on each side, a fight in the bottom, or sorry, the top right that didn't go exactly as I was hoping. We used all of our luck on that Foch not killing us from the rear, just to then low roll an Iron Rain to 1 HP and lose. But we didn't lose the entire match. We still came out on top with a little MVP for 1590 base XP in a tier 10. Now 1500 is usually my mark of an ace for a tier 10. It's 1500, then 1600 for a tier 9, and 1800 for a tier 8. But unfortunately, even though this was a win, and we did 7200 damage and 4 kills, for nearly 1600 base XP, the fact that this is one of the least played tanks in the game, as Wargaming stated recently, and a fairly new tank, which is partially the reason for that, this is only a first class. This could have been my first ace. I could have gotten that Iron Rain and then finished off the MBT for a Top Gun, which would have definitely given me more XP for having another medal and more damage, and survival XP, which could have been a thing, and I definitely could have aced it, but RNG was not having it. 1 HP on that Iron Rain, and that's all it took to rob me of my ace tanker in my ST2. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching today's video. I will catch you in the next one. Take care.